This movie is about the Office Clipboard. We're going to launch the Office Clipboard onto the Clipboard group. We're going to copy content into the clipboard, paste the content from the clipboard into the worksheet. We can paste items and content several times, multiple times. We can paste them individually or paste all of the items listed on the clipboard. And we can use the clipboard to pass content between Office applications. We can move, size, and close the clipboard. And lastly, we're going to look at some clipboard option settings. I've got some data from the Census Bureau, which is the median household income listed in descending order, beginning with the lucky people in New Hampshire and ending with the folks in Mississippi. I'm going to use this data to demonstrate the Office Clipboard, which can be launched from the Clipboard group on the Home tab with this dialog box launcher that says Clipboard. When I left-click that, I get the Office Clipboard. On it, it says Clipboard Empty, and we can see that, and it goes on to say Copy or Cut to collect items. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to collect some items. I'll start with Connecticut, and I'll select cells C15 and D15, Control C. I've added an item to my clipboard. I'll left-click and drag to select Massachusetts, Control C, and every time I add an item to the clipboard, the last one I added is going to be showing at the top, and the second to the last one will be moved down the list. Control C for Hawaii. And I can add as many as 24 items and maintain 24 items on this list or on the clipboard. I'll select one more, Minnesota, Control C. I can also Control X because the instructions said we could copy or cut. I'll Control X, and Delaware shows up there, and it's still listed in our original data set. So Control X or Control C will add items to the clipboard list. And once we get items on the clipboard, we can then go into this worksheet or another worksheet or another workbook or even another Office application, which we'll do in a second, and paste these items by first selecting where we want the item to go, in this case K15, and we can either left-click to add, for instance, Delaware. I'll down arrow to K17. I can do the drop-down arrow on the item, select Paste. So I can add the individual items that way, and I can add them multiple times. I've added Minnesota. I can left-click to add Minnesota again. Down arrow twice, left-click, and add it again. And I can also paste all the items at the same time by left-clicking Paste All. If I find that when I'm loading up the clipboard with different items that I want to adjust the list or take some items off the list, I can do that in one of two ways. I can individually delete them with a drop-down, left-clicking Delete. Or if I want to reset the entire clipboard, I can left-click Clear All. Now, I mentioned that we can use the Office Clipboard to copy items onto our worksheet, other worksheets, other workbooks, and even other Office applications. And we're going to do that now. I'm going to put an item on there, Alaska, Control C, and now I'm going to go over to Microsoft Word, launch the clipboard, and lo and behold, Alaska is sitting there. I can then add it to this Word document in the same way I can add it to the Excel spreadsheet, drop down, paste, and I've brought Alaska, that content, over to this Office application, Word from Excel. This will work with all of the Office applications. And I can also obviously copy content from Word back into Excel and just flip between the different Office applications, copying and pasting from one to another. Back in Excel, there's some options, display options with the Office Clipboard that we can take advantage of. Right now, the clipboard is showing on the left side of the screen, but we can move it and resize it and even close it with that drop-down arrow and the choices available on that menu list. I'm going to select Move, and I automatically get the four-sided arrow. I don't have to do anything. Left-click I can, but I don't have to, and the clipboard will follow me around. I can left-click then to peg the clipboard where I want it to end up resting, down arrow to resize it, and again, I automatically get the ability to resize it without left-clicking, because when I left-click, which I'll do right now, I stop having that ability to resize the clipboard. The last choice, of course, was to close it, and I can do that as well. Now, there are some display options with the clipboard that'll cause it to be automatically displayed in one form or another. Left-click to the options, and I'll click Show Office Clipboard Automatically. I'll deselect Collect without showing Office Clipboard. When we select Show Office Clipboard Automatically, and I'll close it so we can see what happens, I'm going to select Virginia, Control C. The clipboard is not popped up yet. Make another selection, Control C, and now it popped up, and it popped up automatically. We had Alaska showing, Virginia, which we added to the clipboard, without it popping up. And when we got to Washington and we Control C'd on Washington, we have now 3 items, Washington being the latest item we added, and the clipboard opened up for us automatically. Another display option that we have, left-clicking the option button, is to show Office Clipboard when C is pressed twice. I'm going to deselect the first option. The second option was automatically selected. So we're going to pull up the clipboard when we press Control C twice. I'm going to close it down, left-click Virginia, press and hold the Control key, CC, and Virginia's been added. The clipboard opens up automatically, which is exactly what the option said would happen. You do have to press the C key twice fairly quickly in succession, otherwise it will not trigger the opening of the clipboard. The last option that we have is to collect without showing Office Clipboard. Now the odd thing about this is that I can select the first option as well, show Office Clipboard automatically, and collect without showing Office Clipboard. Now if you have both of these selected, it'll actually show the clipboard automatically. So I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to deselect the second one and just leave the third one selected, collect without showing Office Clipboard. So when I close the Office Clipboard, I can Control C and add items to the clipboard, Control CC quickly, pressed Control C. It would have otherwise opened up the clipboard if we had that setting established. So I've added several items to the clipboard, and when I open it up, you can see that they're listed there. But the clipboard will not open up unless you manually launch it from the clipboard group with the dialog box launcher. So that's the Office Clipboard. We can copy content into the clipboard by either pressing Control C or Control X. We can paste content out of the clipboard into our worksheet, our workbook. We can paste it multiple times. We can paste all the items on the clipboard, which can number up to 24. We can pass data between our Office applications. With the clipboard, we can move, resize, and of course close the clipboard. And we have some options to have the clipboard automatically displayed or display itself when we press Control C twice, or to not display itself until we actually call it up with the clipboard dialog box launcher.